Hello everybody, Tyranno here, and welcome back to the Aerial Superiority dev server. And today we're going to continue by looking at the Swedish Stridsvagn 122B+, which is the new Swedish top tier vehicle coming after the 122A and 122B PLSS. Now, this is the same battle rating as those previous vehicles, so presumably it's not considered that huge an upgrade. And to be honest, I'm struggling to see what is actually different about this. So the ammunition seems to be about the same. So you've got your standard APFS DS rounds, the DM23 and 33, and they've got the same penetration as the previous vehicle. You've got this high explosive shell with, again, the same penetration and stats. And then you've got this Swedish APFS DS round. And again, it seems to be broadly the same as on the previous STRV-B. It comes with a laser rangefinder. It comes with smoke grenades and mine protection, though, as I've mentioned before, mine protection is going to be practically useless. It's going to weigh you down, slow you down, while not actually providing any additional protection because mines aren't implemented in the game, so that's only going to help you if somebody decides to fire a high explosive shell beneath your tank. It comes with thermal vision devices for the gunner and tank commander, with a night vision device for the driver and backup night vision device for the tank commander. And I have seen some people saying online that this is improved thermal devices, so maybe that is why this is considered an improvement over the previous vehicle, though unfortunately I can't actually test that because I haven't got it unlocked. And moving on to the armour, this also seems to be fairly similar, at least the composite armour, or practically the same compared to the B. So the frontal hull plate is the same as on the B, as is the mantlet. And the areas around the mantlet, the turret cheeks are exactly the same. The turret sides are exactly the same. And so is the turret rear. So presumably additional protection isn't the reason this tank was added. It's got the same engine, so 1327 horsepower, with a top speed of 42 miles per hour. It does weigh slightly more, 62.9 tonnes versus the previous 62.5 tonnes on the regular B variant. It's got a crew of 4, so you've got your loader, commander, and gunner in the turret with your driver up the front here. The commander has a zoom of 2 times to 8 times zoom on the commander optics. The gunner has zoom of 4 times to 12 times zoom. And then for the rest of the armour, you've got these various composite screens. So some are only 45mm thick, some are 100mm thick. Obviously, that provides quite a lot of protection against heat rounds and the like. And then for the standard armour underneath, it's about 35mm to 20mm at the sides of the hull. For the front, it's about 40 to 35mm of high hardness and RHA armour on the whole front. While, of course, the turret does have more high hardness rolled armour, but again, that is incorporated in the composite armour. And then at the back, you've got some basic RHA armour, so 10mm here, but behind that, about 25mm. It's not particularly well protected from the rear, but, you know, better than nothing. And you've got this machine gun on the roof here. And so, yeah, that is the STRV 122B. And honestly, I can't see what is too different about this. Like I mentioned before, it might have slightly improved thermal vision devices. But it would be very odd if that was literally the only change made to this compared to the previous variant. And looking at the protection analysis, so this is the APFS DS round against the previous B variant. And you can see, you know, you can get a decent amount of penetration at the front of the previous variant. And if we compare that to the more modern B plus variant, yeah, it seems broadly the same. So armour definitely hasn't really been improved, and the gun doesn't really seem improved. So yeah, it is literally just the enhanced thermal devices. And also the commander optics seem to be a little bit lower, which I suppose helps with keeping a lower silhouette. But yeah, like with the M1A2 SEP V2, this doesn't seem to be a huge change in my opinion. Maybe it'll play differently when it's actually implemented in the game, and maybe those of you who play top tier are sort of screaming at me, shouting that I've missed something extremely obvious with this. But no, from my point of view, this doesn't really seem to be all that different from the previous variant. I'm sure it'd be a serviceable tank, but like I say, it's even the same battle rating as the previous variant, so even Gaijin doesn't seem to think it's a huge improvement over those. But we'll have to see how it plays when it's introduced to War Thunder proper. Anyway, that's the STRV 122B+. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you'll join me for the next one. I've been Tyranno, and I'll see you next time.